Good morning, good evening, or good night, folks. I am your host, Simon Redhand, and I'm just going to do a quick discussion about my elemental hit of the Spectrum build I had going on. As you see, I hit level 89. Been doing some maps. My Atlas isn't the craziest right now. I've been having some map trouble like everybody else is. I don't really feel like buying any maps. I made up into I have some T14s, T15s in there, but still haven't finished the entire Atlas there yet. The build itself is alright. Its ability to clear maps is fine. I wasn't expecting to have any issues with that. My biggest problem I have though is I'm having a lot of hurdles with the single target, taking me forever. I'm trying new things out, and the build just seems to be really struggling with taking out bosses and juiced up rares and even the betrayal mobs without any assistance. I messed with a few things. I've done a totem setup with the ballista totems beside it, and that helped a bit. I've done a little power siphon, but that just helps with clear. That also helped with the single target a bit, but all in all, like, I found myself just slowly transitioning from elemental hit to power siphon. And then at this point, it's just like, I kind of wanted to play elemental hit, but I don't think there's a way to get elemental hit to the point where it can actually do, like, I don't want to do uber bosses. It struggles with just map bosses, and with the way the mechanic works, it struggles with getting enough damage to do with any mod that has one too many mods on it. While I can kill them, it just takes too long, right? So my build kind of transitioned a bit, so I didn't really do a snapshot before I did it. But I had a 6 link of elemental hit spectrum in here before I added in the ballista support totem, which I'm using now. And I had it linked with elemental hit. I had it linked with increased critical strike chance, returning projectiles, elemental damage attacks, power charge on, well, not power charge on crit. This was Trinity support, and this was Spectral Wisp. And then I was hoping to kind of push the damage a bit further with the goddess of the Grace of the Goddess wand. And then I found out that Grace of the Goddess was a Nightmare was a Uber Maven drop only, and not Uber Maven, but the whatever boss drops her fragment. I don't know which boss it is. And then I haven't seen any up on trade, and when I finally did see one up on trade, it was selling for 40 divs, and it was just like, not only is that wand not worth 40 divs, it's not even worth 1 div in my opinion. It's just an interesting mechanic that I want to test out, but I'm definitely not dropping 40 divs, possibly 80 divs to dual wield this goddamn wand. I mean, I could continue on and finish the maps. I might do that and get my T16s done, but I do want to be able to boss, and the fact that this elemental hit can barely map boss, let alone uber boss, it serves as a problem for me. So I'm gonna flesh out the rest of my maps. I gotta go to work this week, so I'll probably have some time to do that as I'm coming home in out of work, and I'll finish the maps up, and then I'm probably gonna start a totem incinerate of the expanse build on a Hierophant. Just a quick glance at my skill tree here. So this tree kind of transitioned from when I was playing now I'm playing Power Siphon, but earlier what I did have, all I really changed was respec this. I had Wandslinger, and I didn't go this far out. I kind of stopped here with the Wandslinger and Throat Seeker, and this was all an attempt to find more damage. But this is the tree I'm using now, Power Siphon tree, if you guys go look at it. And this is basically what I've been leveling with in the last 3 hours or so, just to like get back to doing maps, because I just was not feeling elemental hit in terms of its inability to kill bosses. Like, I'm clearing the map just fine, and I'll get to the boss, and the boss will legit take me 2-3 minutes to kill, even with Spectral Wisp, which not a help at all. Even with increased ballista totems, not helping at all. It's just sitting there and taking far too long to kill things. And while they were all getting killed, I just didn't feel like it was an acceptable pace for this build, where you clear the map, and then it takes the same time it takes to clear the map as what it takes to kill the boss, and it's unacceptable to me. Quick glance at my Atlas. My Atlas ended up adjusting, because I play alongside my brother. Well, we play on Discord. He's much faster than I am leveling stuff, and then he's let me know that he did the Curax strategy that I did in my original video, where you got all these notes here, and you went down here and got all the extra Curax missions, and it just wasn't noticing any improvement. So I basically stuck to a tree where I just stuck to the content that would do early game. I went up here first and went straight for the additional altars, and then I ignored everything else, going this path like this, straight up to Unwavering Vision. After Unwavering Vision was done, I got points here for Jun. Here, I came back down from here and got effective leadership, and I had bribery for a bit. And I went right to Test of Loyalty. I did not get Pillage and Thunder because I didn't think Pillage and Plunder 'cause I didn't think it was worth it, and I didn't get this. And that was my initial Atlas tree. And after I got that all finished, where I got 100% Jun, I started focusing on Harbinger. So I got Harbinger unlocked. I did this one here, and I did the boss Harbinger. And once that was finished, I then went for the shrine here. And then I was like, okay, what next? Expedition. So I got Expedition up to 100% by going here, getting 3 nodes here, getting the 1 node here. Oh, sorry, I didn't go there. I didn't go here. I got these here, and I was at 92% for a while. After that, I was like, all right, let me get my shapings done, right? So I got Shaping the Mountain. I went after here and got Shaping the World. I did a point here to jump across to get Shaping the Skies. And then after that, I got the middle wheel. And so these three. Then after, went for these 4 here. And then after that, I started fleshing out the rest. So I got this wheel here for Harbinger. I got this singular point here to bring Expedition up to 100%. And I got this here so I can cycle Katarina. So I've just been farming Katarina, been farming Tujin. I've been selling Veiled Orbs. I've been getting into spending. I'm surprised they were dropping from normal Katarina, so that's pretty consistent with the Veiled Chaos Orbs. They're selling for about a div each or so. And you know, Tujin is Tujin. He always be handing out divs and things like that. So the currency's coming in fine. This map strategy is working fine. I'm getting a decent amount of scarabs. Like if you look here, like I haven't had scarabs blocked from the beginning. So here's my scarab collection, and this is purely from Jun. And I probably would have more, but honestly, when the sometimes when the investigation is up, I sometimes just forget to do it on run maps. Before I forget, I go, oh, I should probably talk to like sometimes I don't notice that these are ready until I do a few maps. It's like, where the hell's Jun? Oh, I have like 3 or 4 of these ready. But that's on me though. That's just sometimes I'm not like I'm not the most efficient player. I feel like if someone watched me play PoE, like, oh, he's not doing it the most efficient way possible. But this is what works for me. This is what I have fun doing. However, this build is not fun to me in terms of it's not going to be able to achieve the goals I'm looking for. The fact that it can't do map bosses efficiently means I for sure can't do T17s with it. I probably can do it, but the currency is going to demand to do it. I don't. It's up there with when I was experimenting Bama before it became meta, and I was dropping like 100 divs to make a bow that makes that skill function. And when I finally did get it to work, it was just like, I would never do this again type deal. I feel that coming on for this, where it's like I could probably get this build to do Ubers, but I'm definitely not going to spend the money required to get this build to do Ubers. And I was willing to go further if the Grace of the Goddess was more affordable, but the fact that the Grace of the Goddess is a Uber drop only means that I can't even experiment with Wisp the way I want to experiment with Wisp, because I'm not dropping the currency required to buy that wand. That wand is not worth 40 divs. That might be what people are asking for it because it's exclusive to an Uber boss, but I'm definitely not. It's not Omniscience. That wand's not on par with Omniscience. That wand's not on par with Ashes of the Stars. There's no way that wand is worth 40 divs. But that's where we're at now. That's it. I threw up some gameplay at the beginning there of me doing some maps with the original Elemental Hit setup that I was farming with. Doing some T11s in there, some T12s. Yeah, it's not the craziest T15s or 16s, but the reality is I just not getting them. I don't have them yet. So I've been doing what I can, farming T11s, T12s as I get them. I mean, the maps are coming in, but they're coming in slow. And what I'm doing a lot is I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. Leave it in the comments. When I'm corrupting my maps, I've been bricking them so often. Like I've been chiseled on there, get them 20%, alchem, whatever, get ready to corrupt them, and then I'll throw on Elemental Reflect. And I get it so often where every mod will swap up to things I cannot run. And right now, the only thing I really can't run is Elemental Reflect. And I'm getting it like 9 out of 10 times. I'm getting Elemental Reflect on my map, so I brick way too many red maps, and it's kind of crazy to the point where it's become detrimental to my progress. As for the league mechanic, I have not picked up a corpse in 2 days. I hate the league mechanic. I hate everything about this league mechanic. I think I see they dropped an update earlier today that they're gonna do some big changes, but buy a crop, buy morgue. I don't touch anything. You see my corpse is like level 67, whatever. I don't pick anything up. I don't care what drops. I don't care what's on the floor. I've done a few crafts, and every time I've crafted something with this system, it just irritated me because this system is designed for I want to say like someone on Grimo's level of knowledge who like who's really into spreadsheets and really into understanding craft of Exile on this mathematical level. But to me, it's not fun. The last time I crafted on this level was back in Harvest League when I had to learn how to, ooh, good sale. When I had to learn how to make a, what's it called? A double +1 scepter with hatred on it for the first time. And it was the most frustrating experience I've ever had. And it cost me an insane amount of money. And I finally did it. I finally crafted this thing. Where's this at? A little cut there to make that sale. I finally did craft that thing, and it was probably worth a couple hundred divs by the time it was done. I don't know what character it's on right now. It's in standard graveyard right now. I don't go into standard for any reason. But after I finished that, I was like, yeah, I'm never ever crafting again like this. I'm never ever harvest crafting again. I'm never ever doing this level of using fracturings and imprints and all this crap. I don't like high level Path of Exile crafting. What I did like was when Harvest got the change going, and it was you could reroll with, you could basically chaos spam, but weighted. So that was like reroll for life, reroll for cold, reroll for this, and then you could add remove and stuff. Like I found that system to be fun. I like crafting like that. And then GGG was like, no, you're not allowed to do this, and they took that out, and they have the system you have now. And the most I do with Harvest now is I get a GG belt for leveling like this, where it's like, oh, it has a crazy amount of cold, blah blah blah, and I'm over capped on my resistance somewhere, and I come over here and I just flip my resist. I go, all right, what do I need? I jump in here and I go fire lightning, cold, whatever, and that's the most I use this crafting for now. I don't do any other crafting in Path of Exile. I don't care about it all. Oh, and then I come over here and I'll drop things on here. Everything else
Greetings.
is I have currency, will farm it. That's it. I don't care how crafting works. I don't care what drops. I don't care what it's asking for. I will not sit here and mess with crafting. So to have an entire league dedicated to not easy accessible crafting, a la Betrayal, where you're just identifying and slamming one mod, a la Harvest when it first came out. And even though Harvest when it first came out was kind of convoluted, and you learned about waiting and how to block things and how to augment and slam, now we have the high level. You need to understand Craft of Exile on a scholar level to do this crafting system, and if you don't, good fucking luck. All you're doing is collecting corpses to sell to somebody else to make use of it. But you're not even going to do that because you only have 64 corpses. This is an abysmal amount of corpses. This is just enough corpses to remind you don't have enough space for corpses. That's all this is for. And then you have this locker here, which is, I don't know whose plan this was, to have this locker here with the smallest spacing ever, even smaller than what you get in Sanctum when you're putting in the relics. And you get a bunch of these. You have to start putting them in stash tabs. And they have a tight level range when you're mapping, so they turn red. You get them on white maps. By the time you get the yellow maps, you can't even use them on yellow maps. You get them on yellow maps. By the time you get the red maps, you can't use them on red maps. It's a tedious system that's just there to annoy the hell out of you. And so, but the difference is, I've been using these, and what I've been doing is I don't save them. As you can see, I have none here. I don't stockpile them. Every time I see something yellow, I drop one of them on there. And what I've been dropping the most is the Gemling commanders. I like the Gemling guys. They drop a lot of 20% quality gems. And that's how I got my 20% quality gems pretty fast. I got a bunch of them drop when you do them on a 600% quantity, whatever, and you drop the Gemling guy on there, you'll get a rain of gems that way. That's pretty good. So I got most of my gems level 20 that way. And then I've been using what's else? The omens, but you barely get any omens. I haven't gotten anything better than the portal scroll one. Everything else is the same trash, but I've been using those because they had pack size, and I like getting the mobs in the map, the extra packed mobs. And I've been using what else? Oh, any of the expedition ones that show up, I use them with some thought. Everything else, I just dump. I don't care what I'm replacing. I don't care what shows up. How I usually do a map is pretty quick, pretty simple. I don't pay any attention into what is on the map. I look at it. Whatever's yellow, I will pay attention to. Whatever's not, that's it. Like I literally will open a map like this. I'll look at what's yellow, see, all right, a bunch of yellow stuff here, cool. Oh, look, there's a plus to pack size and a plus to modifier. What's the best yellow thing I have on here? Increase quant. That's pretty good. And then I would drop one of these guys on top of it. But this is the white map I didn't roll. I don't really care what's on here. Open it up. If it dies, it dies. Who cares? Right. But that's basically how I've been doing this mechanic. I don't pay attention to anything else. If it kills me, it kills me. That's it. I'm not playing hardcore. That doesn't bother me. But I understand how this mechanic can be so frustrating because it's not well thought out. The end game that you're looking for with this crafting system is only directed towards the most hardcore of hardcore players in the community, which is completely absurd. And the mapping function is geared towards people who understand their character builds on a fundamental level, where it's like they know from white maps that they need to max out their resist. They know they need to take care of the suppress. They need to take care of their chaos resist, because they understand by looking at these disgusting mods that are available that they know what they're in for. The average player, you're gonna go in here and die over and over again, and I hope you have this mentality where dying is not that big a deal, because otherwise it's going to irritate you and set you off, and you're gonna rage quit the game, because that's all this mechanic does. It has a bunch of negatives with no rewards. Like if you see here, we'll go in here and look at it real quick. It has the 3 yellow ones that it gave us. Pack spawn a corrupting tempest on death. If you're a new player, you have no idea what that means. Hell, I didn't know what that meant. I had to go look it up, because I remember like, isn't this something like this corrupts items when you drop one, but you have to stand in it while it's present? It was something that I remember from way back, and I had to go look up to verify it. But if you're a new player, you have no idea what a corrupting tempest is. Item quant, it's kind of bait. It means fuck all to you, but it does help with those all flames that have specific drops that are tied to it. But everybody else, if you're not stacking item find, like magic find, just means nothing. Same with rarity is completely useless. If you understand, you don't notice how rarity works, go on the wiki and read how rarity works, and then understand that rarity is basically a gag stat, right? And then everything else here is just negative. Strongest monster in the pack is 75% increased attack and cast speed. I promise you're going to notice that monster when it shows up. He's going to show up and jack you if you're not able to off-screen him, and you're like, what's going on here? And if he turns yellow or rare with a bunch of mods on him, get ready for a war that rivals fighting a map boss, because he's going to keep you busy. And then the 50% more damage granted to pack monsters on death. Again, if you're not off-screening them, this could be a problem, right? All of this, I don't really pay attention to it. Eventually, I'll be moving along in the map, and I'll just instantly die. What killed me? Oh, one of these juiced up mobs who have one of these crazy modifiers on them happened to spawn with three yellow mods on while he was rare. That's what killed me. Okay, cool. I'm gonna die 2 times killing him, and then I'll go back and finish the map, and I'll keep moving. That's it. Gains 75% of physics extra damage. Damage penetrates 10% of elemental resistances. That's crazy. A lot, but it's like, all right, what am I gonna do about that? I can't re-roll it. I don't care. This is a white map with Q1. I don't care about wasting it, but it was a T11 map. I gotta go try doing it. So all you're gonna do is die a bunch of times. This has been the most difficult to get to level 90 on any league I've ever played. Next to Metamorph, but Metamorph was just because I have a penchant for trying to fight things I shouldn't be fighting. But eventually I was just like, all right, I gotta level it. I just stopped spawning them until I hit level 95, and then I was like, all right, let me go back to Metamorph. But this, you cannot stop doing it. So eventually you're gonna get bricked. You're gonna run around being fine, and then you're gonna find a mob that kills you. I found a yellow mob once that had grasping on it, grasping roots and ensnaring, something like that. And I was like, every time I attacked him, I lost life, and I couldn't figure out how the hell I was losing life. And I died to him twice before I literally just walked past him, and I killed everything else. But I didn't understand what was killing me. He had some kind of noble enchant on him, but again, they're back to not telling what these do. So I had no idea what in this noble enchant was causing me to die. I assume it was some kind of reflect, but it was only on him. So I was able to walk past and kill everything else, but while I was fighting him and I was off screening myself, I was like, what the hell is killing me? Till I finally found this slow moving zombie who had this noble enchant, a noble whatever was on him from the league mechanic. And I started attacking him slowly, and I realized every time I hit him once, I lost half my health. Like, he has some kind of reflect on him, but I don't know what it is, because there's no details in these new gray haunted passive they added into the game. So there's some fun there. So if you start dying, you don't recognize what it is. It's usually some of the high level haunted passives that they didn't really detail the way they did. If you played Arch Nemesis League, you know what I'm talking about, where they give a fancy lore based line, but it actually it'll say something like weaponsmith or some shit like that. I'll remember the exact names from Arch Nemesis. And then when they show the detail, this like 100% chance to impale, 90% block chance, all this other craziness, that it was just like, how is that fair for a monster to have? I assume when they do tone this crap down, you're gonna realize that some of these novel enhancements are some of the most abusive mods they've concocted, because they've been trying to get Arch Nemesis back into this game, and by hook or by crook, they keep trying to sneak it in on their blanket, sneak it in the next patch. Every time they remove it, they try putting it back in. If you guys play Crucible League, you recognize those mobs had some crazy damage reduction on them and a bunch of modifier stacking on them. Ultimatum is the same thing. It's like they keep trying to figure out ways to make mobs really difficult, but they also don't want to give you any reward for putting in the effort of killing these mobs. So I don't know, it's kind of sadistic. In the stream, I think he had a Freudian slip where he was like, yeah, you're gonna put points into the mechanics and it's gonna make it difficult and less rewarding. And I think that is the mentality that GGG is kind of rolling with these days, making things more difficult and less rewarding, and that's where you're at. Anyway, my next video will probably be on me doing my leveling and my update of me. I'm not gonna do a leveling actually. I'm just gonna when I hit maps again with the incinerate totem build, I'll get back there and hopefully it works out, because I don't want to have to go to a build I already know works to try to push it to do bosses. So I want to try incinerate totem, and I'm gonna do it on a Hierophant. I mean, I could do it on chieftain, but I want to lean towards Hierophant. I mean, because if that doesn't work, I still want to do penance brand. That's the idea for now. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for dropping by. My name is Simon Redhand. Thank you guys for joining my channel. Like, subscribe, take part in the community, all that good stuff. Have yourselves a good morning. If this is the only video you're watching me today, have yourselves a good afternoon or a good night.